It was a cold afternoon in June. On the outskirts of the city, road construction work was underway, and dirty water had pooled everywhere. An old woman was walking slowly along the roadside. She wore a faded cream wrapper and carried a walking stick. Her grey hair was covered with a head wrap. The woman looked tired and walked with careful steps to avoid the muddy water. Anita was driving in her brand new white BMWs when she saw the old woman and suddenly got an idea. She pressed the gas pedal hard and drove straight through a large puddle of dirty water next to the woman. Splash! The dirty water flew everywhere, covering the old woman from head to toe. The woman stood there, dripping wet and shocked. Her clean wrapper was now brown with mud and sewage water. Anita stopped her car and looked back. She started laughing loudly when she saw the old woman trying to clean herself with her hands. "Look at you now," Anita shouted from her car window. "Maybe next time you'll know not to walk where rich people drive." The old woman looked at Anita with sad eyes. She did not say anything, but tears mixed with the dirty water on her face. "This is what happens when poor people don't know their place," Anita continued laughing. She took out her phone and recorded a video of the wet old woman. "I'm going to show this to my friends. They won't believe how funny this is." Some other people on the street saw what happened, but they were afraid to say anything to the billionaire's daughter. She was Anita Okoro, Chief Okoro's only daughter, and everyone in the city knew their family name. Her father owned oil company, banks, and real estate across Nigeria. The old woman slowly picked up her walking stick, which had also fallen in the mud. She looked at Anita one more time, then turned and walked away without saying a word. Anita drove off, still laughing. She called her friend Sandra on the phone. "Sandra, you won't believe what I just did. I saw this dirty old woman walking by the road, and I splashed muddy water all over her. She looked so stupid standing there all wet." "Anita, that's mean," Sandra said, but she was also laughing. "Mean? It was hilarious. Poor people need to learn to stay in their place. That old woman probably learned her lesson today." Anita spent the rest of the day shopping and having lunch with her friends. She showed them the video of the old woman, and they all laughed together. That evening, she returned home to the family mansion. The house had 20 rooms, a swimming pool, and a garden with expensive flowers, with maids and servants attending to their every need. Anita ate dinner with her father and told him about her day, but she did not mention the old woman. "Early tomorrow, I'm flying to London for business," Chief Okoro said. "I'll be back in 3 days. Take care of yourself and don't spend too much money while I'm gone." Anita laughed. "Papa, we have so much money. I could never spend it all." The next morning, Anita woke up to the sound of her phone ringing. It was 10 a.m., too early for her usual wake-up time. "Hello," she answered sleepily. "Anita, wake up. Turn on the news right now." It was her father's voice, and he sounded very upset. "Papa, what's wrong? Aren't you in London? Just turn on the news. Channel 7, now." Anita stumbled to her TV and turned it on. The morning news was on, and she couldn't believe what she saw. Breaking news: Chief Okoro's business empire collapses overnight. Billionaire loses everything to massive fraud. The news reporter continued. Chief Emmanuel Okoro, one of Nigeria's richest men, has lost his entire fortune in what appears to be the biggest investment fraud in the country's history. Sources tell us that Chief Okoro invested 100% of his wealth with London-based investment firm Harrison and Associates, which has now disappeared with billions of dollars from multiple African investors. Anita's hands shook as she held the remote. This had to be a mistake. Her phone rang again. It was her father. "Papa, tell me this is not true," she cried. "Anita, it's all gone. Everything. The oil companies, the banks, the houses, the cars. I trusted the wrong people and they took everything. I'm stranded in London. I can't even pay for my hotel room." "But Papa, we have money in other accounts, right? What about the house? What about my car?" "The bank is coming to take everything. I mortgaged all our properties to invest more money. I thought I was making us richer, but I've made us poor. You need to pack only what you can carry and leave the house immediately." Anita dropped the phone. She ran to her window and saw bank officials and police cars already surrounding their compound. Men in suits were walking around with papers pointing at different parts of the house. Within 2 hours, everything changed. The bank officials told Anita she had 30 minutes to pack personal items only. No jewelry, no expensive clothes, no electronics, just basic necessities. "But this is my home," Anita protested. "Not anymore, miss. This property now belongs to Trust Bank of Nigeria. You need to leave immediately." Anita packed one small bag with some clothes. She tried to take some gold jewelry, but the officials stopped her. "Those are considered assets. They stay here." For the first time in her life, Anita walked out of her family home with nothing but a small bag. She had nowhere to go. Her friends would not answer her calls. When she finally reached Sandra, her former best friend said, "Anita, I'm sorry, but my parents said I shouldn't be seen with you anymore. It's not good for our family's reputation." One by one, all her friends said the same thing. The people who used to laugh at her jokes and compete for her attention now treated her like she had a disease. Anita spent her first night on the street behind a shopping mall. She had never been so cold and scared in her life. She had no money for food or water. The next day, she tried to get help from people who used to work for her family, but most of them turned her away. She was hungry and dirty, and people looked at her with disgust. On her third day on the street, Anita was sitting outside a market, hoping someone would give her food. She heard a familiar voice. "Anita, is that really you?" She looked up and saw Patience, who used to be one of their housemates. Patience looked shocked. "What happened to you? You look so different." Anita started crying. "Patience, we lost everything. Papa's business is gone. I have nothing. I'm so hungry." Patience stared at her former employer's daughter. Just weeks ago, Anita had sacked Patience and treated her like she was worthless. Now Anita was in worse condition than Patience had ever been. "This is not normal," Patience said slowly. "Rich people don't become poor like this overnight. Something is not right." Patience bought Anita some food and water. As Anita ate, Patience watched her carefully. "Tell me exactly what happened before your family lost everything. Did you do anything unusual?" Anita thought about it. "Nothing. They say it's investment fraud." "Fraud? Think harder, Anita. Sometimes the smallest actions can have big consequences." Then Anita remembered the old woman. She told Patience about splashing the dirty water and laughing at the poor woman a day before everything crashed. Patience's eyes grew wide. "Anita, that was very dangerous. You don't know who that old woman was. You think the old woman did something to us? I think we need to see Baba. He is a seer who can tell us if this is spiritual or not." The next day, Patience took Anita to see Baba in his small house in Mushin. The old seer looked at Anita for a long time without saying anything. "I can see darkness around you," he finally said. "You have been cursed by someone very powerful." "A curse?" Anita whispered. "Yes, you hurt someone who has strong spiritual protection. The gods are angry with you. Your family's wealth has been taken away as punishment for your wickedness. But I only splashed water on an old woman. I didn't kill anyone. Sometimes the greatest sins are how we treat the weakest people, Baba Adeyemi said. The old woman you mocked was not ordinary. She has connections to powerful spirits. Can you remove the curse? Patience asked. Only the person who was wronged can forgive and remove the curse. You must find this old woman and ask for her forgiveness. If she forgives you from her heart, the curse will be lifted. Anita felt hope for the first time in days. I'll find her. I'll apologize. Anita spent the next week searching for the old woman. She went back to the exact spot where she had splashed the water. She asked everyone in the area if they knew an old woman who walked that route regularly. Most people ignored her because she looked like a street person now. Her clothes were dirty, her hair was messy, and she smelled bad because she had nowhere to bathe. Finally, a young man selling newspapers said he might know who she was talking about. There's an old woman called Mama Kemi who lives in Makoko. She walks to the market every day through that route. She's very poor, but people respect her because she's kind to everyone. Can you take me to her house? Anita begged. I give you money when my problems are solved. The young man, whose name was Segun, agreed to help her. They took a bus to Makoko, one of Lagos's poorest communities. Anita had never seen such poverty before. Houses were built on water with old wood and metal sheets. Children played in dirty water and the smell was terrible. Looks like this is your first time here, Segun said as they walked through narrow paths. This is where the forgotten people live. They reached a small area where several people were gathered outside a tiny house. Some women were crying and men were talking in low voices. What's happening here? Segun asked one of the women. Mama Kemi died last night, the woman replied sadly. She was a good woman, always helped everyone even though she had nothing. Anita felt like someone had poured ice water on her. Dead? She's dead. Yes, my sister. She died peacefully in her sleep. We're preparing for her funeral. Anita started crying loudly. No, she can't be dead. I need to talk to her. I need her forgiveness. The people looked at her strangely. Did you know Mama Kemi? Someone asked. Segun pulled Anita away before she could answer. She's not well, he told the people. Sorry for disturbing you. As they walked away, Anita told Segun everything. He listened without judgment. You were very cruel, he said finally, but now it's too late to fix it. They went back to see Baba Adeyemi. When Anita told him that the old woman had died, he shook his head sadly. Then it is finished. The curse cannot be reversed now. Only Mama Kemi could have lifted it, and she has joined the ancestors. But surely there's something else I can do, Anita pleaded. Nothing. Your family will remain poor for the rest of your lives. You will know what it feels like to be looked down upon, to be ignored, to be treated like you don't matter. This is the price for your cruelty. Anita fell to her knees. Please, there must be another way. The spiritual world does not give second chances when someone dies because of our actions, the seer said. Mama Kemi died with the memory of your cruelty fresh in her heart. Months passed. Chief Okoro returned from London as a broken man. He found his daughter living on the streets, begging for food. Together, they slept in abandoned buildings and asked people for money. The same people who used to bow to them now walked past them without even looking. Former friends crossed the street to avoid them. Business partners who used to call Chief Okoro sir now treated him like he was invisible. Anita learned what it felt like to be hungry for days. She learned what it felt like when people laughed at her dirty clothes. She learned what it felt like when security guards chased her away from places where she used to shop. One night, As she and her father shared a small piece of bread they had begged for, Anita finally told him the truth. "Papa, I'm sorry," she whispered. "This is all my fault." "What do you mean?" her father asked. Anita told him everything about Mama Kemi, the splash of dirty water, and the curse. Chief Okoro listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was quiet for a long time. "I always thought you that we were better than other people because we had money," he said finally. "I was wrong. Money doesn't make us better. How we treat others is what makes us human." "But now it's too late to learn that lesson," Anita said, crying. "Maybe this is the lesson we needed to learn," her father replied. "Maybe we needed to lose everything to find our humanity." Years passed. Anita and her father became known around Lagos as the former rich people who now lived on the streets. Some people pitied them, others ignored them, and a few laughed at their fall from grace. Anita never forgot Mama Kemi's face. Every night, she remembered the old woman's sad eyes when the dirty water hit her. She remembered how Mama Kemi had walked away with dignity even when she was humiliated. Now Anita understood what that dignity meant. It was something money could never buy and poverty could never take away. But understanding came too late. The curse remained, and the family that once owned everything now owned nothing. In the end, Anita learned the hardest lesson of all. Some mistakes cannot be undone, and the price of cruelty can be higher than anyone imagines. Moral of the story: never look down on anyone, never mock anyone, because tables can turn at any time. Treat every person with respect and kindness, regardless of their social status or wealth. The poor person you mock today might hold the key to your future, and wickedness always finds a way to return to those who practice it. The end.